What ruined your Thanksgiving this year? Went to go pick up my grandma from her dementia care home today, and as soon as I pulled in, she called and said she wasn't feeling well. I ended up sitting with her for an hour catching up. When it got dark, I had to go, and she begged me to stay and gave me some food. I wanted to cry. She was asking me all these things about my life I couldn't give her the answers to. I miss when she was a part of my life and not away spending her last days isolated. Dementia sucks badly. It's horrible to have to go through. I feel you. We brought my grandmother over from her care home today to let her enjoy my kids, great-grandkids. My dad said when they were pulling out of the driveway, she started crying and said she wished she could have just gotten to spend some time with them and had some hugs. She didn't remember in that 3-minute span that my 3-year-old didn't leave her side the entire time, and that my 9-year-old sat on the couch and snuggled her and translated conversations from across the room for her for an hour. Dementia is awful. 2 weeks ago, my dad and grandma died 2 days apart from their respective cancers. Also today, I have a 103-degree fever, so I can't even be around my family. My sister, whose house it was at, had an edible before the food was even ready and then retreated to her room due to being too high and started hinting for people to leave. She's going to be sad when she emerges and she doesn't have any leftovers to munchie. Tooth infection that spread. Went to the dentist yesterday to get antibiotics and it ballooned across my face overnight. So here I am sitting in the ER triage with a 101.3 fever and a face that hurts like hell. I had a tooth infection that took my front tooth this year. The loss of the tooth and subsequent surgeries ruined my Thanksgiving. It stemmed from an accident as a kid. I'm so sorry you're going through this, and I can level. I'm sending you love, sweet person. I'm sorry you have to endure this too. A severe ulcerative colitis flare landed me in the hospital 2 days ago. I'm still here, and tonight's Thanksgiving feast, 1 gallon of colonoscopy prep. My husband and I were in a pretty bad car accident Monday afternoon. He ended up with a bad concussion and staples in the side of his head. I have a total of 13 stitches in my right hand and wrist, not to mention all the bruising, whiplash, and everything else that comes with being rear-ended while at a dead stop by someone most likely doing 45 plus. We're lucky to be alive. We were the first car hit and somehow got pushed into the median, while the car that hit us kept going and ended up hitting the car that was in front of us. There ended up being 5 cars involved in the whole ordeal. We were supposed to go to my in-laws today, but his concussion has made it difficult for him to eat or even sit in a lit room, so we ended up staying home. It sucks, but I'm thankful to be alive, and there's always next year. It wasn't ruined, but it was very boring. It was at dinner at my wife's cousin's, along with a couple of other distant relatives, all people over 65. I ended up eating too much and had fun playing with the dog. Also, I was the only one who got stoned before going. I'm 75. My dog suddenly had a stroke last night after spending 1 hour finding an emergency vet that was open and another hour speeding there. My dog passed away at 1:50 a.m., right as we were about to carry her to the exam room. She was perfectly fine just 6 hours before. My first child is in the NICU. We heard the cafe would be serving turkey, but it was closed, so we had a bagel instead. Honestly though, it didn't ruin it at all. He's likely coming home tomorrow and bagels aren't bad. We got to hold him and this might actually be my favorite Thanksgiving. My girlfriend broke up with me last night, so I've been spending the entire Thanksgiving trying to act like it doesn't bother me. Finding out my grandma died from an Instagram post. Nobody in my family bothered to call me to let me know she was even sick. Big dinner, turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, cornbread, the whole 9 yards. A colleague's daughter says she has a stomachache and doesn't feel well. My gut feeling is making me suspicious. We sit down, she gets up and proceeds to vomit all over the floor. Thankfully, she missed the table. Just all on the floor. Poor kid had a stomach virus she didn't know about. She didn't eat much after that. We spent 10 minutes cleaning it up. Sadly, nobody wanted to have the stuffing after that. I was sad because it was amazing. My grandma passing on Tuesday. Thanksgiving was always a wonderful memory with her. We thought Thanksgiving was ruined, but it turns out it will be just different than what we wanted. My grandpa was diagnosed with terminal cancer last summer. We knew this would likely be his last Thanksgiving with us. A few days ago, he had a stroke and we didn't think he'd be able to join us for Thanksgiving dinner since he's still in the hospital. Luckily enough, he's being discharged in an hour and will be able to have dinner with us. Not having my mom around to celebrate. A bunch of people who wouldn't get out of my damn kitchen because I'm a guy, although old women think I can't do anything. Well, Mima, we still got 3 pounds of your dry-ass potatoes, but nothing I made has leftovers. I asked for the address and never got a response. Responds 4 hours later, okay, well, we already ate and everyone left, so just stay home and eat there. Go on Instagram and see the family pics. Thanks, Dad. That's nice. The dog got out, leading to a 2-hour search and cold dinner. Being alone, my boyfriend is working. This is the first year I won't get a phone call from my big brother as he took his own life in June. Holidays and birthdays have been tough this year. At least I have the dogs to help snug away the sad. My relative's dog ate the surface of our pumpkin pie and an entire package of bread rolls. My stepfather is fighting pancreatic cancer and my mother is beyond exhausted and stressed. Ordered pre-made dinners, but this is not a day to celebrate. Did not see my parents this year. My brother is going through a manic episode and is suicidal. He lives out of state with his wife. My dad reacted poorly, so when I tried to calm him down, he started screaming that my brother should just go off himself already so we could all have some peace of mind. This happened 3 days ago, and I said, I'm good not seeing you guys this year. Let's think about what family means to us in our own homes. For any questions, my dad and 2 older brothers have all been diagnosed with bipolar 1, but my dad has severe narcissistic tendencies as well. I'm spending it with my SO's family this year. It's very different but united. Odd for me. So, quick story. I had an assistant manager when I worked at McDonald's that was fun to work for, but she suffered from depression. She had a habit of getting wasted and calling her sister to say she was going to kill herself. Said she had a gun and everything. One night she calls and her sister answers. She says she has the gun pointed at her head and she was going to pull the trigger. Her brother-in-law tells his wife, the sister, to just tell her to do it already, that he is tired of all the drama, etc. My friend pulls the trigger, kills herself right on the phone, and the sister hears it. Yeah. Boyfriend of 3 years, who I was pretty sure I would eventually marry, broke up with me a few weeks ago and said he didn't actually love me. Haven't been eating or sleeping properly since then. Started therapy because I didn't know what else to do. Got told I might have BPD a few days ago. Woke up Tuesday with a sinus infection. My neighbor is unable to come to dinner with us because he's recovering from COVID. I hate that he's spending it alone. He's been spending holidays with us for years. We packed up a few plates for him and brought them over so we got to visit on the porch for a minute, but it's not the same. Even my mom says it's not the same without him. Halfway through eating my first plate, it started to feel like someone punched me in the gut. Damn you, apple cider, damn you. A tradition like no other, the Detroit Lions. Imagine a family tradition where right as you sit down for dinner, you invite some guy over to kick you in the balls. That about sums up the Lions fandom on Thanksgiving. My husband lost his job on Tuesday morning. Needless to say, we're not in the mood to celebrate. I love how companies fire people at the holidays. Gotta make cuts somewhere so the higher-ups can get their fat Christmas bonuses. I announced I was pregnant, and the first thing my aunt said was, "No wonder you look so fat." Kid brought home hand-foot-mouth from daycare. Infected everyone. We were going to host this year, but we had to call it off. My wife needed emergency surgery today or she would have died. Thankfully, she is still alive, for great nurses and skilled surgeons. Slicing my hand open whilst trying to open the damn cranberry sauce. A cold. Spending the day home alone so I don't infect my family. My dad told my brother and me that he should have beat us more as kids. Not having anyone to spend it with. Didn't remove the bag of organs inside the turkey. My mother-in-law took one bite, threw up, and had to stop eating. Now we are all awkwardly sitting around trying to find something entertaining to watch on Netflix. Help! Woke up to $700 in fraudulent charges to my account, and couldn't call the bank. On top of being stuck at home, I had something to stress me out even though I know it's easily taken care of. Truly fraudulent charges are thankfully quick to remedy. The bank will give you a temporary credit while they investigate. We just falsely got charged $2,010 for a $10 burger. It took them over 2 weeks to finally fix that one because, well, it's not fraudulent. You said you did eat at this burger place. Although the bank teller acknowledged that would have to have been one heck of a burger. Working a 12-hour shift. My husband and I got into an argument and he's been ignoring me since then. Says he wishes he wasn't spending it with me. This isn't healthy. At worst abusive, at best toxic. My kidneys are in stage 4 failure, starting dialysis, and I'm terrified. Went to my boyfriend's family Thanksgiving for the first time this year. On the way out, I slipped off the first stair into some mud. Definitely one of the more embarrassing things I've done. My dad died almost 3 weeks ago. First holiday without him. Influenza A. We are better now and fever-free and decided to postpone Thanksgiving to Saturday. Everyone agreed, which is nice. Mom decided to have a heart attack last week and passed away, leaving me to cook by myself. Humor helps a bit. My first Thanksgiving without my family because I'm working at my vet clinic this weekend. Watched a dog pass away in a brutal fashion this morning. She was suffering and continued to until her last breath. I couldn't catch the turkey. He's a speedy little bastard. I had to put my cat to sleep. We knew it was coming with her diagnosis of kidney failure, but she took a big turn for the worse, and we put her down yesterday. Our hearts are broken and we just hosted Thanksgiving dinner. I'm so glad the day is over. Found out on Monday my 11-year-old fur baby has cancer, and the vet said there's nothing they can do. She has 2 to 4 months of life left at best. My mother-in-law died 10 minutes before I put the turkey in the oven. My mom invited her ex from way back, who is now a friend. Although thought he was a pretty chill guy, all he ever talked about were the carnival rides he worked on. This year, dinner was punctuated with the following arguments from him. Biden is a fake because his balding pattern changed. Everyone in the White House is Illuminati/Freemason and Biden makes blood sacrifices. When he said, "Well, Michelle Obama is Baphomet," I burst out laughing so hard I had to leave the room. Luckily, my uncle debunked literally everything he said, and it was very funny when he said, "I'm a Freemason. Did you know that?" "Yeah." "Did you?" "Yeah, I did." He later admitted he did not. These were just things I was in the room for, though. My dad died 2 weeks ago. Went to my father-in-law's. No mention of anything regarding my dad, as if it never happened. I'm struggling. I'm home alone sick while the wife and kids are having a great time at her parents' house. The first couple of hours were fine, but now I'm depressed and lonely. Being sick. Not all that bad since I get to chill and watch football, but it sucks to miss out on being around family and gorging on food. A judgmental dietitian who bulldozed the menu. There are 364 other days in the year for health consciousness. Let me have my carbs and sodium. Grandma on a breathing machine from COVID. Tomorrow will probably be the worst day of my life. Finding out the hard way that the in-law family I thought accepted me doesn't acknowledge my and my husband's marriage. Also, one of my brothers-in-law got smashed and hit on me relentlessly. Neo-fascist nephew insisted on bringing his handgun to dinner despite being asked not to. I walked out with my wife and went for a drive. The family was not happy. My dad went into cardiac arrest Saturday night. He's awake now, but there is very likely a ton of damage to vital organs and brain function, as he was without a pulse for a long time. Thankful he is still here with the hope that he recovers enough to still somewhat enjoy the rest of his life. I need a break from people asking me favors. Just a break. I still want to help people. I just need some time off so my mind can heal. If it keeps up, I might just move away from my family. My depression and inability to socialize. TMJ. Hurts to chew too much. My husband is an overworked, low-paid resident. Didn't really ruin it for me, but it did for him, I know. Was supposed to be home at 12. Still at the hospital and it's 6 p.m. Will probably be there till tomorrow. Nothing. It was great. Mom has early dementia but was spot on for dinner. The turkey was moist and tender. My wife made an awesome squash soup for an appetizer, and we had manageable levels of leftovers thanks to a small turkey. Stomach bug out of nowhere last night. All I've had is Gatorade today. I spent this Thanksgiving without visiting any family or trying to make conversation with relatives. Basically just relaxed at home and made a nice meal for myself. So it was pretty much the best Thanksgiving I've ever had. Chinese restaurants are not open, like many, including myself, assume. Reading the top comments, I realized this is small potatoes, but we didn't have enough mash to go around. Broke up with my long-term partner of 9 years, and I'll be homeless in a few days. I called my mom to wish her a happy Thanksgiving and said she had a dream that I got a lesbian haircut and she was so worried I'd become a lesbian. Nothing like a little homophobia for the holidays. Just got done with an introductory probationary period at a new job. It's a traveling job. No travel for 2 weeks and all work from home. My family knew I was home and were just relentless in getting to me. My ex is so terribly negative, it was the last straw. She complained that the car I gifted my daughter, which she uses free of charge, had crappy tires on them, and she had to walk partly up the driveway. Tires were replaced over the summer and again, free. I pay for the car and the insurance. I lied about having work just to get away from all this BS. On the way, I had a full-blown panic attack. The mixture of work and family stress, I pulled over and needed about 2 hours to collect myself. It was the worst I ever had. Thought I was going to pass out or die. Recovered and spent a glorious day at the zoo and just doing what I wanted to. Read, watched a great documentary on Ralph Lauren. The podcasts on the way home were amazing. Empty highway, I'm loving life. Come home to my mother complaining to me about not working on my yard enough. Wasn't thinking and placed a turkey in the oven that I carved. It had been in the fridge too long because I skipped town. I'm pretty sure I have food poisoning. I'm hoping it's just for 24 hours, because my daughters come over tomorrow for a late Thanksgiving meal I do just for them. Takeaway? I need to manage stress better. Hit the gym harder? I don't know. But that panic attack was 2 hours of hell. Never ever again. As soon as I recover from this food poisoning, I'll research some. Thanksgiving isn't over yet though. Like they always do, my daughters will make it better. Grandma's turkey was tagged wrong and arrived 2 hours later than everyone who starved themselves for it the day before. On the bright side, Grandma paid for 16 pounds of turkey and got 20 pounds of turkey. Also, it's a bit nipply at Grandma's place. Still worth the hugs and time spent with them. My mom hasn't stopped talking in 3 hours. Can't be ruined if you refuse to celebrate it, Taps Temple. It was going all good until my dad started to gaslight me and badmouth me while eating dinner. He was fine a few minutes ago, and then it came out of nowhere. Now my mom's crying in her room because all she wanted was a nice dinner, but it turned into me just being badmouthed for 30 minutes while I ate in silence. Got my period, and I did not get enough sleep. Seeing my granddad's deterioration, mentally and physically. Glad to have spent the time with him, just wish getting old wasn't so brutal for some. COVID, never had it before and have been traveling for work on probably 30 plane rides this year. No COVID. We go to see a local concert and boom, COVID for both of us. C is for coughing, of which there is a lot. O is for oh my god, what have we finally caught? V is for viral, no crappy R thank you very much. I is for immobile, I can't even make our lunch. Damn is for damn I'm tired, finish this song yourself. Uncle Ched trying to fry a turkey for the first time. No appetizers, boxed turkey stuffing, some ungodly hybrid of mashed, regular, and sweet potatoes with spinach, cheese, and powdered garlic. Now stuck here while they try to figure out how to use technology. The same thing that ruins every day. PTSD. I think people are just heartless creatures. One kid in the emergency room with a reaction to the flu got home on Thanksgiving when the newborn had symptoms and got sent to urgent care. Pretty all-around terrible week. I still feel sorry for all the families still in the emergency room. Being homeless. Depression. Lower intestinal issues. Food poisoning or virus. I don't know. Started Saturday night and still dealing with it today. Also started a chest cold yesterday. This sucks. COVID. My daughter was supposed to be on Catalina Island, and I was supposed to be meeting my girlfriend's family. My mom generously booked my flight home for Thanksgiving, except she booked it under my maiden name because I got married relatively recently, and she isn't used to my married name yet. We didn't discover the error until she sent me my flight details yesterday afternoon, and it was too late to change the name on the ticket. We had to cancel the flight and there wasn't another flight in the right time frame, so I had to stay home. I actually had a perfectly nice day with my husband and his mom, but I feel really bad for my mom because she's been having a tough time and I wanted to see her. I learned about the death of an acquaintance. Finding out exactly a month ago that my husband of 9 years had been cheating on me over the last 4 to 5 years, trying to make the best of it with my 2-year-old at home. Woke up and hugged my dog. Wife said, "You're disgusting. I can't even look at you right now." I didn't do anything wrong the night before. We're having company over today. I had to go for a run just to feel better and get some perspective. She's feeling bad and just wanted to drag someone else down, but really makes me feel like I don't want to put in the work on her anymore. Toxic at best, abusive at worst. My girlfriend's mom dropped the N-word with the hard R. Gestational diabetes. Being pregnant and not being able to eat hardly any of the food was not super fun. Not being in America with the family. Had a bad asthma attack and couldn't get out of bed for a lack of oxygen. I hate going to the ER or doctors in general. gave my mom and sister directions on how to make my baked mac and cheese over the phone, was in and out of sleep all day, and finally mustered the strength to get dressed and say hi to all of the family. Took me almost an hour to do this. They were mostly gone. Haven't eaten a thing today yet, somehow I have no appetite. Writing this from the ER bed where I've been given steroids for lung inflammation, an IV for fluids, and currently waiting for a second breathing treatment. My stubborn ass should have come to the ER last night. Uninvited to the family Thanksgiving due to being trans. Of course, that's not the reason I was given, but we all know the real reason. Sent my son ahead to his aunt's for the week since he's out of school and I'm a single father. I was gonna meet up with them today. Ended up with an abscessed tooth and having to pay the last of my money to get an antibiotic prescription and get it filled. Calling him to tell him and hearing the disappointment broke my heart. This entire year sucks. I lost my sister, 2 uncles, 2 aunts, and 1-month-old nephew, and 1-year-old nephew this year. And all their birthdays and 1-year death anniversary are coming up. Our family tried to think positive today. It's just hard this year. My uncle invited my wife and me to his place to have dinner with his longtime girlfriend's family. I had a really great time. Multi-generational classic Thanksgiving. I brought pies I made from scratch and everything. I had a complete implosion and had to disappear to the deck to cry my ass off. This will be the 3rd year since my mom suddenly died on Christmas Eve. This amazing and warm family welcoming us in with open arms made me remember holidays past before my mom died, and it just broke me. I've been in a horrible mood ever since. I cheered up when I was able to go back in and my pies were very well received, but I've just been sulking since we left. I miss enjoying the holidays. Mariah Carey forcing the moniker Christmas Queen on us after failing to get it copyrighted, then ending the parade lip-syncing to Spotify, not moving while holding a freaking parasol, pushing the arrival of Santa Claus into the closing credits. My general contractor. We should have been in our home by September, but we're still down to the studs and living with my parents. My puppy had to be admitted to the hospital because of an unknown infection causing vomiting and loss of appetite. She's so tiny. Mom bringing her new boyfriend she's barely dated for 2 months. So far he seems like an asshole. I'll never tell her though. She'll have to figure it out on her own. I'm just gonna stop by, eat, crack a few jokes, then go the hell back home. Not last year, but 2 years ago, my parents decided to do sushi. They got the sushi the day before. Was it so bad it messed up this Thanksgiving too? Nothing. I ran into 2 families having trouble with the price of turkey, ham, and all the fixings at Publix yesterday. I had them fill their carts with all they needed and put them in front of me as my wife and I paid. The store manager tried to give me some free gift cards. I told him to pass them on to someone else and help them have a better Thanksgiving holiday with prices where they are right now. Happy Thanksgiving to all, and to all a good night. No spending on credit cards for Black Friday Christmas, people. Be smart and safe. The people affected by the recent shootings/stabbings right before Thanksgiving. I had to explain to my fiance's mom that she shouldn't really be sharing my private health issues with anyone but her son and myself. I made her cry, but this is personal, painful, and private. Loneliness. Being British and in Britain, I wanted turkey. It's my birthday and still dealing with breakup depression from like over 2 months ago, so it's like a mega combo of holiday sadness plus birthday sadness. Just could be better. Grandma passed a few weeks ago. She was the staple of the family, so without her, the family outings seem to be done now. My Thanksgiving dinner was a bowl of ramen and some party mix, topped off with a lot of alcohol. When my ex came to pick up the kids to take to his family's house for the holiday, he told my oldest child that he couldn't go visit his family since he is not blood, and he would have to stay home with me. My ex is the only father my son has ever known. Broke his heart. For context, we went to court recently and my ex is not happy with the judgment. A fresh batch of homemade fudge ready to go in the fridge to cool was dropped face down into the fridge. My ex-boyfriend of about 3 years replied to my "thankful for you, love you" Thanksgiving text by accident with how much he loved and was glad he met someone else. Also, they met over VR cause we're long distance, and he needed someone to hold him over. She's even further away, by the way. OP, I'm so glad we met. You are the love of my life. You are always in my mind. I love everything about you. We were planning on getting married. I broke up with him. Dad, aunt, and uncle talked about the QAnon conspiracy. Literally, while eating dinner, they are talking about a cabal eating children's faces and the commander-in-chief Trump will save the world. Not having one. Damn to being in the UK, Thanksgiving is the best meal ever. I misheard the turkey plans. Looked into frying the turkey. My husband thought I wanted to fry it, so after a series of miscommunications, dinner isn't made and we are in separate corners trying to regroup. I have COVID brain and am terrified I'm losing my mind. I asked him if he is okay, and he said he was tired. I've ruined the holiday and I don't know how to fix it. Being completely and utterly alone. Grandma, who is 92, doesn't want to stop driving and isn't happy we took her keys so she doesn't kill anyone or herself. Not me, but my friend's mom died earlier this year. Then last week, his dad died. Just spent the day working and avoiding anything positive. Seems his holidays will be tainted for a bit. My husband's cooking. Everything was flavorless, burnt, or undercooked. He has no sense of timing, so much of the food was cold. In case you were wondering, he won't let me or my adult daughter cook. Not because he's nice, but because he keeps kosher and doesn't trust us. Yeah, there are control issues and a touch of OCD in there too. And he got snarky with my granddaughter. Just because. I wish we had ordered pizza and just watched movies. Thanks for watching until the end. What ruined your Thanksgiving? Tell us about it in the comments below. Then be sure to like this video, subscribe if you haven't, and hit the notification bell so that you know when our next video is available. It really helps. For more videos like this one right now, please stop by our channel. Thanks again, and see you next time.